So welcome everybody to the final episode of season 2 of Selfish Hack. Give it up, guys. Give it up for my live studio audience. So we made it, you guys. We made it through 4 months. We made it through Pride. We made it through this pandemic. We made it through monkeypox. You know, about the vaccination of the monkeypox, or the pox of the monkey. You know, if y'all wasn't watching my husband's live, this week, he was letting everybody know that he was kind of a little frustrated when we went to go get our vaccine. Do y'all know why?
Why?
Because he was upset that I didn't turn into a damn monkey. Ain't that some shit? He said I was going to turn into a damn monkey. But I told him I can't. I'm an alien. That's a little inside joke, y'all. Let me tell y'all that little inside joke. So my little brother made me rest in peace, even though he's still with me all the time. He would always call me Marvin the Martian. So I tell everybody that I can't turn anything other than an alien because I'm an alien. So we got a slightly jam-packed show this evening, even though y'all hear that tape going on backstage. That's my entertainer getting taped back into her outfit, even though I hear her. Thank you. Appreciate you. No, but we have a jam-packed show this evening. We have some amazing guests. This is just so y'all know, this is the first time I sweat so much on this stage, even though it's been in my house. You know, when you have an in-home studio, you can stay cool all the time, take commercials when you want. The kitchen's right there. Get yourself something to eat. I think I need a piece of chicken. Anybody bought me some chicken? We got pizza though. Yeah. We got pizza. Yeah. We also have to thank our security for the evening, you know. Give it up to security for the evening. Making sure we all safe, you know. We also have to give it up for, of course, my co-producer, my husband. We definitely have to say thank you to our sponsors this evening that collaborated with us to make this evening possible. So, of course, we have Double L Productions, who always produces Sofa Chat. We have, go ahead. We have Amita Care. We're going to be talking about Amita Care in a minute. We have Amita Care. It's a managed care program, a special needs managed care program. We also have Argus Community in the house. We have the HIV Stops With Me campaign. That's right. We also have in the building some distinguished guests, right? So we have the person that runs the New York chapter to the Miss Full Figure New York Pageantry system in the building. We have our current reigning Mr. Renaissance in the building, along with our current reigning Mr. Gay New Jersey. We also have none other. You see, I got the opportunity to meet this amazing woman, and you know, anybody that knows, the way to my heart is either my stomach or my jewelry. I'm just saying. I'm a little hungry, so nobody made that weight yet. But it's okay, we're gonna make that happen. There's food backstage. But I had the opportunity to meet this amazing woman at an event that my husband and I were able to be booked at for a Pride weekend. And she is a consultant for paparazzi jewelry. She don't know it, but we're about to bring her on stage in a little bit. You know, she's gonna be one of our people that we chat with. I just like to bring people on board, you know, make sure they feel loved. So we're gonna make sure everybody feels loved this evening, right? Yeah. We also have to give a big shout out because we are live in person at the Wow Cafe Theater. That's right. And we are staffed this evening with some of the Wow Collective and some of those who have come back, you know, because they family. So they definitely come back because we support and they support. So we want to give a shout out to our house manager for this evening, Epiphany. Woo! We also have to give a shout out to our bartender and our hype person, not only making sure y'all entertained this evening. This is Nigga Sunshine. saying if you guys are looking for some good comedy, laugh your asses off in a good, beautiful space, and you're looking to eat, because sometimes they have vendors available to eat. If not, you can hop right across the street to Applebee's. Please see Nikki Sunshine. She owns her own club with her husband called Comedy in Harlem. Definitely go out and get yourself some good laughs. And, you know, we also have this evening, I'm very proud to say, you know, that they're our sibling, but they do many more things than just that, right? So they are our sibling. They have their food handler's license. You know, they be chefing it up. But they also are running nightlife in the Bronx at Identity Club. So we have none other than our sibling, Kelly Kaboom, in the building. So Kelly, we got a surprise for y'all, because not only is Kelly going to sit on this nice little sofa with us, but Kelly is also going to be closing out this evening's show with none other than her hit single. Come on, y'all gotta hear her. She getting pretty backstage. She beat my face this evening. She's trying to get as pretty as me. It's okay. It's good to try. Anywho, y'all. So we have some little current events that we like to chop it up with y'all, right? So, of course, y'all know there's monkeypox out there. There's another variant of COVID. So they trying to keep us all away from each other. What's going on? I like to hug people. We can't hug nobody. It's going to have to be like a air hug. But it's cool. It's cool. We also have some other events that we'll be working on. So I have to shout out none other than my husband's company, the NYTBF. So on August 20th, the NYTBF has collaborated with New York Black Pride to bring you the pro competition, the NYTBF pro competition. It will be actually happening in the Times Center on 42nd Times Square, y'all. Look at that. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, if you haven't registered to join, please definitely get your tickets. The events are free. The bodybuilding competition starts off that full day of events. There will also be a pageant that evening. So anybody ain't registered yet, register, compete, you know. I feel really bad. I never have to block so much on stage. Oh my gosh. I need a stronger fan. I need some water. No, I need to drink some of my beverage. Did everybody get something to drink? Y'all ain't getting nothing to drink. Y'all so quiet. Anybody get nothing to drink? Yeah. All right. Even if it's water, y'all got something to drink? Yeah. All right. I gotta make sure people know I'm hydrating y'all in here. Making y'all think that I'm in the sauna and stuff. I'm cooking y'all. We ain't cooking nobody up in here. I'm keeping y'all hydrated. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna cut my banter by like 2 minutes, right? Only because I want to be able to get the opportunity to bring everybody on board and share some great conversations. So we have Medicare as one of our sponsors, and unfortunately, the representative that was supposed to make it this evening to speak on behalf of Medicare, they couldn't make it. They got a little scratchy throat and stuff, and we don't know what that is, so we want to keep everybody safe as well as make sure they get better and then they keep themselves safe. So I've been selected to talk about Medicare as one of their grant ambassadors. So if you guys did not know, Medicare is a special needs plan. They support individuals that are HIV positive, but also HIV negative. They also have been supporting the TGNC, especially the trans community, for quite some time. They have given me the opportunity to support me through my medical transition journey. Oh, y'all didn't know I was trans? Why y'all so quiet? I feel like I'm at home. I get more entertainment from my animals. What's going on? My cats give me more love up here. What's going on? It is hot. That don't mean you gotta be quiet. It's all right. You hot too, baby. I am hot. In more than one way. But anywho, don't worry. I'm gonna get them on the stage, y'all. They gonna come up here. Most of them that are quiet, they gonna come up here. They know I like to pick on people. I was picking on them earlier backstage. But anywho, If you don't have an insurance carrier, if you're looking for a managed care program, please definitely reach out to Amita Care. They have great incentive packages. They have great medical benefits. They definitely support. And they're one of the very few managed care programs and plans that I've had the ability to be able to sit at a table and speak to them. We were able to get some things changed. So if you guys didn't know, prior to 2017, managed care programs did not provide assisted reproductive treatment for anyone. If you didn't have a private HMO, you had to pay out of pocket. Medicaid was not covering it. My husband and I sat at the table with Amita Care, and we were able to have some great conversations. So since November 1st of 2017, Amita Care has been covering 5 assisted reproductive treatments for individuals looking to have children, right? That's an awesome, that's right? Now, any medical professionals out there, y'all listening to me, can y'all join on board, because it's frustrating to go over there with some insurance that y'all accept, and then y'all tell us, we don't know what that is. Just hold a book, open it. I need some services. I'm just saying, I gotta say it. So, I think I'm gonna bring up my first guest this evening. I think I'm ready. I think I've been sitting on this sofa for too long by myself, and if I drink any more of this libation, I think I'm gonna just talk my behind off and ain't gonna be productive. So, I'm gonna slide over a little bit, and I would love to bring to the stage one of my siblings. They are a former HIV Stop Flipping Folks model, but they are currently coming to speak on behalf of their organization and provide us some great information. So without further ado, can you guys please put your hands together for none other than my brother, Garrett, who's gonna be speaking about Garrett. I'm saying you ain't the only one. A lot of people want to get on Selfish Chat, but we only had, a season for like 4 months. So, we're gonna leave everybody waiting until season 3. It's gonna be real juicy. I keep some snacking and stuff throughout the year, watching YouTube, making sure they watch our videos from season 2, and then come back on season 3. We ain't hoes and we ain't none of those shows, but we Selfish Chat. We go Selfish Chat. We chatting on the sofa. So, first and foremost, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me on the couch. And thank you for your organization for making the donation. We greatly appreciate it. The support and the work, we look forward to working with you guys more. So before I get into some conversation and ask you some questions, right? Can you give our audience members, whether it be live or online, the opportunity to give them some information about Argus?
Sure. So Argus has been in business for 50 years. Argus Community was developed. The program was developed. The agency, rather, was developed in 1968. We, in that time, had worked with community members to connect people to services, whether they may be people that may feel like they're at risk for substance use or alcohol or mental health, or people who are living with HIV, or people who haven't tested for HIV in a long time and don't know their status, which is really important in the community of with all of those challenges going on, and me myself being a person of color that also lives in the community where I am living with HIV, so like where it affects those people, it affects the community, it affects me as well. So Argus tries to be like a close-knit oriented agency where we work closely with the community, sit with each neighborhood. We don't confine ourselves to one catchment area. We try to go like to Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, and try to reach out to everybody so that we can deliver those services that everybody needs. Even people that are undocumented. So if you're undocumented, you want to get an HIV test, or you feel like you need services, we are the agency to come to. We meet people where they at. We're not harm reduction, but we know how to work with people in that setting as to where they can come and get those services.
So, y'all heard that. Give Gavin a round of applause for that. The organization, yes, right? How long have you been working for the organization?
So I just recently started working for August. I've been working in this community for these almost like 20 years now. Since I was like 15, I'm 35 years old now. And I've been with August for only 6 months. And to be honest with you, it's been the most blessed 6 months of my life because I'm able to, well, my role at August, excuse me, I'm a health educator. I educate people on public health, sexual health, and different topics on when it comes to health. And my main mission and goal for me working with August is just to make sure that we reach those people that are unreachable and that are left behind because we don't want to leave anyone behind. We believe that everybody deserves to have adequate services and also places where they can go to this where they can feel comfortable at.
So, how do you like working with them, being that it's been so new? I know, like it's always in the beginning when you start working for something, it's always new, it's always great, it's always exciting. But after you start working for the organization and things like that, you end up learning this kind of like bumps in the road and bumps in the road. Have you come across those challenges working with artists? And if so, what have you done to overcome them?
Um, well, I want to start off by saying each agency has their own challenges. So you never know what that's going to look like until you're actually in the thick of it. And me myself, the challenges I think we face is just being able to go out there and make sure that people want to get an HIV test and not let them know that it's educational purposes, but also that we're not there to force people. Like we're not just out there like, oh, go get an HIV test because it's more than just an HIV test. It's like what other services do you need? Like we may want you to know. We may want you to come in and utilize all of our services, but we always want to promote HIV testing. We also want to promote PrEP, because now this is a different day and time where people think about HIV and they think about pills and my life expectancy or the stigma that comes around that. Or if I'm a drug user, a person who uses substances, excuse me, that I'm not worthy or I'm less than what anybody else sees or want to think of me. We don't paint the picture for people. We allow people to paint the picture for themselves to see where they want to be at. So I think that speaks for itself, and it just makes me feel so good to be able to do that type of work. Because this is where I feel like it's hard. In life, people don't always get to do what they want to do, or they don't like what they do. They just do it because they know it's for the greater good. But it's so often for me that I love to do a job that I can be in the thick of it and be in that and at the bottom where I'm stomping boots to the ground and helping people, making sure that they get services and that I'm not looking down on my fellow man, on my fellow sister.
So before I let you go, because we got like 2 minutes left to this segment, right? Before I let you go, with the work that you've been doing, your advocacy work and the work in the community, has there been one moment within the work that you've been doing that has been like your aha moment that has made you feel like what you're doing is actually making a difference?
Yes, it has. I'll say for me that being a part of the HIV South Summit campaign and being a member that was a part of that and then working for August and doing all this detrimental work that we do on a daily basis. Sometimes it's hard to take do the job and then not go home and not be mentally competent on what it is that we have to do to move forward. But what I will say about this job is that the fulfillment of the faces of other people when they see that, oh my God, like I was stuck here for this point in time and now I'm not there no more. I was able to move forward with the help of somebody else or the help of me or the help of my team. So like we do different services. Like we have an early intervention program, which is EIS, and then we have a PMS program, which is prevention navigation services, and then we have a TESH program, which is stands for combating HIV/AIDS in the community. So with those things being said, like it's who I am. Like nobody can make this look more beautiful than me. Because look at this face. I go out there and I talk to people. I love people. I'm a people's person, and I'm very down to earth. So I think that this job, and this career path that I have chosen, I'm looking forward to elevate because at some point, I think that August is a great organization. It's a stepping stone to build the person that I am now and the person I want to become in the future.
So thank you, Barry. I'm not letting you go because we're about to get off the stage together, right? But before we get off stage and we run ourselves, our viewers a commercial and our in-studio audience members a commercial so they can see. We want to definitely take the time to shout out our virtual audience that is watching, making their comments. You guys, like we tell you every Sunday, please definitely ask questions. We will definitely get to them. Support, share. Sharing is caring. Before I let Garrett go, I wanted to know, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers before I let you go?
Sure. I also want people to, if you have the time, during the day when you're at home or if you're at work, just go on to the Artist Community website. We have, it's in construction at the moment. We have some things that need to be fixed, but nonetheless, that we're there, we have a presence, and we want people to continue to come and be able to point people in that direction that otherwise the world needs assistance that we can't, ourselves as one person help. It takes a community to bridge the gaps of all the things that we deal with, especially with healthcare. So, if you need those services, don't hesitate. Reach out. We don't stigmatize. We don't look down on people. We just want to be there for people. So I thank you for giving us this time and me this time. To see the lovely Leilani, you come up on my sis. My big sis. But I want to say I appreciate you and keep doing the work that you're doing, because this is the type of services or the type of atmosphere that people want to be around. Somebody's positive, somebody that's doing something that wants to see the change that we have today in this world. So I appreciate you, and I tell you, keep looking fabulous and set the world on fire.
So thank you, Garrett, and everybody, keep it going for Garrett. We're gonna do a quick commercial break, and you don't get up from your seat. I'm going to go and do a wardrobe change, and if it takes me a little longer, then my co-host is gonna take over. But please, definitely keep it going. We have more to Sofa Chat. Enjoy the commercial.
Let's give me a feel, because I'm trying to figure out why it's not sharing.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, man, technical difficulty.
I remember first being diagnosed and how disconnected I was.
I'm a Latino gay immigrant living with HIV, finding a doctor who can understand the culture of Latinx people. I feel kind of lost. I didn't know where to go and where to ask for help.
Medicare is more than just a plan. It gives you a sense that you're not alone. It gives you a sense that there's people out there that care.
From the time I stepped through these doors, I've never felt any other thing but love in here.
When you cross the door and you see people that reflect your culture, that speak your language, that's key.
The community we serve is colorful, loving, amazing, resilient.
We like to create those safe spaces for everybody because not for nothing, we're all New Yorkers. We all family here.
They start with having conversation with us as trans women.
They actually look from within the community to ask questions to see what's needed, what resources are needed.
We see an individual trying to just be who they are, and that's the best part about it.
Fundamentally, I'm doing something that matters, and I'm not doing it alone, I'm doing it with other people. live and breathe the Amita Care mission, and together we're making a difference.
All right, that's right. Give it up for Amita Care. See, I did a quick outfit change, y'all. I was quick, right? I was quick. All right. I did it. I guess. I don't do those like that. Professional in that aspect. So we're gonna keep it clean, even though it's an evening, show. But without further ado, I have to give it up for my next group that's gonna be coming up. So I have the opportunity, the amazing honor of being a spokesmodel on the HIV Stops With Me campaign for about the last 7 years. Anybody that knows me before Sofa Chat, before the campaign, knows that, and my mom can attest to this, when I transitioning was like a brand new start for me. I relocated to Florida for a couple of months and then came back to New York a whole new person while still transitioning, and literally told everybody out there that I would never disclose my status. I would never disclose that I was a woman of trans experience. And I had the awesome opportunity to be at an event with one of our audience members this evening that definitely kind of like guided a lot of the work and a lot of the access that I've been given, and allowed to have. I went to an amazing event with them, and I walked in and I saw this backdrop, and it was butterfly wings, and all I could think was, I not only want to take a picture of that, but I do want to be one of those butterflies on that campaign. I spoke to one of the spokesmodels and I let them know I was interested, and the spokesmodel told me that I would have to speak to their agent, the managing account manager. And I was like, okay, great. And just as we were having that conversation, they walked in the door. So I started having this conversation. I didn't know where it was going to go. A week later, he called me, asked me to come down to his office. I sat in his office, which was supposed to be about a 30-minute conversation, turned into about an hour and a half. And an hour of that, I spent there boo-hoo-hooing, telling my life story about my journey, about how I contract HIV. Left it there, didn't think nothing of it. Got a phone call about 2 weeks later, followed up with an email giving me the opportunity to become a spokesmodel. And that was 7 years ago. My first, thank you. My first campaign year, I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. I got text messages and phone calls from people asking me, is that really you? And then I got other phone calls from other individuals that were like, oh my God, are you okay? How you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing the same way I've been doing for the last 7 years with HIV. Ain't shit changed. You just know now. I'm just saying, ain't nothing changed. But I decided to become a campaign spokesmodel because I didn't feel like my voice was being shared. I didn't feel like I saw myself out there. I wanted to see another person of trans experience sharing their story, living and thriving and surviving with this passenger in my beautiful truck that my mother bought me called HIV. But anywho, I don't want to showboat no more. You guys have seen me all season long. You've seen some of the spokesmodels. A few of the spokesmodels that are going to sit on the sofa with us, have had the opportunity to sit. So we're going to dive deep into a little more, of their story. But one of them has not been on Sofa Chat yet. They're a virgin. I'm just saying. So anyway, y'all, without further ado, please put your hands together for my fellow siblings, the HIV Stops With Me spokesmodels. Coming down, first and foremost, we got Rob. Rob, you can sit here. Yeah, right here. I'll sit in the corner. And then Nico's gonna come up here. Come on, Miss Nico Flowers. That's right. Sit right here with me. And then Mr. Tyrone, we're gonna have you come sit over here. Just don't drop my libation. You have to get me another one. So we're gonna have to pass this mic around with my siblings, right? But thank you guys. Thank you guys for, taking the time during this heat waves to come. Just like our audience members, thank everybody in the building, matter of fact. But during this heat wave with us, the theater, we pulled it as best as possible. But I know it's still a little hot, especially with studio lighting, so thank you guys all for coming out to the show. Also, thank you to Shelton D'Souza, Better World Advertising, the Department of Health for not just having this campaign, but supporting us and sponsoring Sofa Chat. So, Nico, I'm gonna swing you the first question. All right. Real simple. How has life been? Matter of fact, let our viewers know a quick little glimpse of like how did you become HIV positive?
I became HIV positive when I was an undergraduate in Historic Black College University in Columbia, South Carolina. I was dating a guy, and actually we were sort of like on pre-engagement, and I went home one weekend to actually he got me a ring, and I don't know people always ask me, well, did he know that he had the virus when he gave me the ring? But when I went home this particular weekend after I got my ring, and he actually proposed to me, was the time that I found out, was the exact weekend I found out that I had been exposed to HIV. So my exposure was from my first sexual encounter when I was in college, and from that, I still live on. I do have, sometimes I feel, sorry, that's okay. Sometimes I feel a little bit of, what's the word called when someone passes away? Survivor's guilt. Because I never really, I don't know if it's because I never got the answers, because I never got the answer, because he would always ignore it and like default, like, oh, well, I'm not HIV positive. But I became positive when I was through heterosexual contact when I was in undergrad in college, my sophomore year at 19 years old.
And how long you been living with HIV?
For 33 years.
I did that on purpose. I wanted y'all to sit and hold that, okay? Because when HIV came out, there was no life expectancy. There was not even a pill to treat us. And over these years, we went from a cocktail of over 17 plus pills to the option to have one pill a day to keep your HIV under control. Okay, not just that, but modern medicine has come so far that we are now able to access an injectable version of an HIV medication that we can take once a month to keep us undetectable and untransmittable, so that we can have a very thriving, surviving sex life, in addition to everything else we do. So let's see. Oh, this is so much fun. I have more than one person on the couch with me. Y'all don't understand how exciting this is. This is a party. Yes. But for those of you who didn't get the opportunity to see the episode where Tyrone and Rob, to sit on the couch with us in our in-home studio, I want them to give you a little glimpse of them, right? So I'm gonna come over here to my right, and I'm gonna ask Tyrone to give us just a brief, run of, how did you become HIV positive?
Thank you, Lana. First, I want to say congratulations. You know what I'm saying? As for me, I've been living with, I was diagnosed with AIDS in 2006. And when I was first diagnosed, I couldn't walk. I was in a coma for 2 weeks, I couldn't walk. A lot of things I couldn't do, you know what I'm saying? Sorry. Fast forward, 15 years later, which is now, I'm glad that I'm living with HIV. I'm undetectable. I'm working, I'm living, and I'm doing anything else. I don't know if y'all live with HIV or not, but I'm doing anything that anybody's not living with HIV is doing. And I'm just happy to be here, able to be here and continue working with people living with HIV, or not even those living with HIV, to prevent someone from getting HIV. Or now everything is monkeypox area. Trying to find out the most I can about the monkeypox. Me and my partner, we take out our first vaccine for that. So it's all about safety for me. You know what I'm saying? So that note.
Thank you. He left out some of his story that's like really impactful that I wanted to hear, but I'm glad. You know why? Because it gives you the opportunity to go online to the HIVstopswithme.org website and really deep dive into his story, just like Nico's story, right? And just like Rob is gonna give us a sneak peek of how he became HIV positive.
Oh my God, my wine.
Thank you, Leilani. So my name is Rob, and I am 50 years old. I was 21 when I'm going on 51. I'll be 51 in August. It was around this time of year, July, August of 1993, that I tested positive. I was infected by someone that I was dating. In 1993, like he and I dated for about 2 years. I met him in 91. So the significance of that relationship is it not only was I infected through that relationship, but I was also introduced to crystal meth in that relationship, and that is, and the reason why I battled that is because it was something that crystal meth was my drug of choice, and I was caught up in an active addiction, chasing that drug for almost 15 years. And so, by the grace of God, at the time I was told that when I was diagnosed, that I had a good 7 years to live. So I did not think that I would live out to see the year 2001. And I was really lost in the sauce. And at some point I had a moment of clarity and realized, like, oh shit, like it's 2001 and I'm not going anywhere. And so, I struggled and I battled a bit more with my addiction, and part of what fueled that addiction, I believe, was the HIV stigma that I was receiving. Rejection, subtle rejections and more overt rejections. Like I had like the whole, the story that you hear about, the paper plates and the plastic cups. I had coworkers that kind of dealt with me like that. I had a job at a model agency, and like my mother was a housekeeper, so the cleaning lady of the agency, like I really kind of took to her because she was like a mother figure, and I remember her telling me like, don't tell anyone you have that. So like the fear and the shame and the stigma that I was trying to overcome. And and to talk about the campaign. So now I'm in my 29th year of being HIV positive. I'm undetectable. I literally just had labs done like 3 weeks ago, and I don't know why it still amazes me when I see that undetectable viral load, and a T cell count of like 580 something, and the significance of that, right? The significance of being undetectable equals untransmittable is that I cannot transmit the virus. So I don't just take my medication for me. I take it for anyone that I may be involved with, because I'm thinking for two now when I take my 1 pill a day, right? And so I'm just, I'm really grateful that I overcame both my active addiction. I'm going on 3 years of being clean from all mood and mind altering substances. It is like my clean time is a gift that I give to myself. It is an act of self-love. So I wake up and in a state of gratitude that I not only lived to see 2001, but that I have lived to see 2022, and and that I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, right? I'm clear, right, that my medication keeps me healthy, and that, God forbid, I have more chances of being hit by the bus crossing, the avenue, or a cab than I ever will of getting sick and dying from HIV. Like, I can almost, you never know what your cause of death is going to be. Like, we all know that we're born to die, but I will live my life that it will not be HIV and AIDS. Right?
So see, there's other pieces to that story that you gotta go online to the website to see. And if y'all don't follow Rob, y'all need to follow Rob, because let me tell you, the relationship that has flourished with him and his mother over the last few years is, they need their own show. So if you need us to produce a show, Double L Productions will produce that for you. You know, me and mom, you know, you and mom, because his mom is hilarious. And I definitely gotta send her a chocolate, her Hershey's chocolate. I definitely gotta send her a chocolate. Y'all got to follow Rob. Because I'm telling you, everybody that I follow on social media, I really do follow you guys. Some of your journeys and your stories make me laugh, and I hope some of my journeys and my stories make y'all laugh. And I want to point out one thing specifically, because this was a topic of the conversation when we all sat on the sofa together. And it's just a difference in terminology, it's a difference in language, right? So Rob shared with you guys that he's been clean for X amount of time right now, right? Every person that I speak to, I allow them to self-identify. Every person identifies their journey differently, how they identify their not using, you know, no longer using drugs or anything like that. Their definition for how they identify is self-identifying. So if I share anything with you guys, the viewers out there and in the studio audience, always let someone self-identify. Never identify the person, and that goes across the line. You know, that goes according to gender identity, sexual orientation. Don't assume because a person looks masculine that they identify as he and him. They might identify as they and them and gender non-conforming. So we must respect each other, right? Because we have fellow different spokesmodels that identify as different parts of the LGBTQ plus and the heterosexual spectrum. So we want to be respectful about language. My next question, I'm going to not tell them who I'm going to ask, right? I'm just going to say the question. So I want to know, being a spokesmodel on the HIV Stops With Me campaign, we have access to be able to engage with different audiences at different events. We get to create and cultivate our own events and be supported by one another. As you can see, my spokesmodel siblings are here supporting Sofa Chat. But in your HIV Stops With Me journey, what has been your aha moment, Nico?
My aha moment was, I had a conversation with our boss. I called, and I think during this time I was like really like in my feelings, and I don't think that I was calling and telling them that I want to quit the campaign because of what had happened, right? So he said to me, because I was like, I do this work, I'm out, I'm on billboards, I do what I'm supposed to do, and it's like, very painful to like not feel the support from family. And I'm not trying not to choke up, but no, but like, when you are diagnosed and you come from where I come from, and you don't really understand that, like, I grew up in church. Like, a lot of my spokesmothers, like, family do that. Like, I grew up in church, so my thing is, if God is allowing me to be here for this amount of time, not be sick. Now, I've never been sick, like, in a hospital with no opportunistic infections. Like, God is, like, with me. And the fact that if you are my dad, or you are my grandfather, or you are my mother, and you not see that, and not really understand that I'm living my life, I'm living my truth, and it's not for you to decide for me, it's for me to decide on my own. And then it's so like, he said to me, he said, well, you know what? He said, well, Harriet Tubman could bring like all the slaves. Some of them want to be stay back in slavery. So that was like really like my aha moment. And I feel that I am doing the work that I'm doing because people want to be in my inbox. I got an inbox from someone in South Carolina that I went to high school with. Didn't even know she was positive. She contacted me that almost dead in tears, afraid. Her doctor wasn't giving her medications. The medications were like sporadic, like, oh, well, take some now, and then wait 4 days, and then take some more medicine. So I was like, well, when you go to the doctor? So I hooked her up with AHF. The next day, she had an appointment, and she had got medications. So because I spoke up on social media about me being positive, if I didn't speak up, she would not want nowhere to go because of my voice and me being open about my status on social media. But I think my aha moment was with having a conversation with our boss and then really understanding it, and then like with it being switched around and me getting that phone call to say, well, oh, hey, I'm afraid and I don't know what to do, and my doctors are spreading out my medication and I don't have any medication, and I'm just afraid right now. So I think that was my aha moment to say, well, don't stop what you're doing, because you're doing it for a reason. It's the reason why you have HIV, but it's the reason why you were picked to be in this campaign to do work. So.
Tyrone, what was your
Thank you. I think I had a couple of them, but the one that's most memorable is when one of my friends, she's a female, her son had an interaction with someone that was living with HIV, and they didn't use condoms. And first thing she did was she hit me up on Facebook first, so I called her, got her number, I called her, and we spoke. I told her what to do, take him to the doctor, try to get that for 72 hours. And but there was other conversations that needed to be had, because she was like, he has a girlfriend, and in my mind I was kind of like, yeah. So I asked her, was he bisexual or stuff like that. At the time she didn't know. So what that did, that started a conversation with her to take back her son to have. And this has been about 2 years now. So we've been trying to get our son to speak to him on the phone. He won't speak to me, but his mother, he'll speak to me through his mother. Sorry. He'll speak to me through his mother. You know what I'm saying? So right now he's doing well, but it was some struggling times. He did end up testing positive for HIV, but he was also able to get into treatment, and he's doing well now. Him and his partner are together, they're both in treatment. But it was just crazy because, from my understanding, it was the first time that he had an interaction with another male. I guess he was at a club. It was his first time he had an interaction with a male. Like I said, he was bisexual. And the hardest part was me telling his mother that he had to explain that to his girlfriend, because he needed to get tested also. So, as a gay or bisexual man, with anything, trying to tell a female, whether it's your mother, your girlfriend, or a friend, that's not so easy to do. There's challenges, because you have to be comfortable with yourself first before you can speak about it to somebody else. So I was glad I was able to play an instrumental part in that, and I still stay in touch with him now. I haven't spoken to him yet, but I'm still looking forward to that, you know what I'm saying? And she told me a good thing. She was like, he admires you and he wants to be like you. So that message I get, that aha moment for me was that you never know who's watching you from the sideline and who's looking up to you. They may not want to come say, hey, but they're watching and they're looking. So in this line of work, or any line of work for that matter, it's always keep your head up and stay focused on the positive. Because like I said, you never know who's watching and rooting for you.
How about you, Rob? What was your aha moment?
I think that my aha moment, like Tyrone, I've had a few, but I think my most significant one was around the internalized stigma. And it was my first year on the campaign. I knew that there was a potential for me to be, have my picture on the subways or on a billboard, and that there would be commercials. So that I knew that my image, my face, my story, my HIV status would be out there on blast. But somehow I was not prepared. I was not prepared for the box with the material to show up with the little palm card on the box. So I get this random call from a number that is not saved on my phone, and I'm at work. And at the time I lived in the Bronx, Anthony Avenue, in a building where everybody knows everybody. You know what I'm saying? You got Pearl hanging out the window talking about, hey, Rita! Oh yeah, you got Benita Betrayal up in there too, you know what I'm saying? And so I get this call, and my neighbor who was Dominican, she's like, Vecino! And I'm like, oh snap. I'm like, how'd you get my number? And she was like, no, there was a box in front of your door, and I was afraid that it was gonna get stolen, so I brought it into my house, and so I have it here. And I was like, okay, well, I probably won't get home until about 9 o'clock. And she's like, well, I'll be working late. I'll be working the late shift, because she was in healthcare. She said, I'll be working the late shift, but my daughter's here. So when you come home, just come and knock on the door. So I had no idea that it was the box, right? So I knocked on the door, and this sweet little girl, like she must have been 16, 17, hands me the box, and there's my face with I am you, HIV stops with me, and I'm like, So I called Sheldon freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea there was gonna be a box. My picture was gonna be on the box. It's like, you're breaking my confidentiality. And it's not supposed to come in the mail like that. Like, how everybody knows in my building. Like, watching in the building, and people are gonna be whispering. Right? And Sheldon was like, are you kidding me right now, Rob? Like, in other words, he's like, are you really calling me with this bull? Right? He's like, I was like, well, I mean, you know that your face might be on the subways or on the billboards, right? And I was like, yeah, but that's out there. That's not in my building. That's not where I sleep. Right? And so, why it was an aha moment was because, like, after the panic dissipated, like, I had to realize, right, that I wasn't free, right? Like, that I was okay with sharing my HIV status in spaces that I considered safe or away from where I was vulnerable, right? So I could come to your building and talk to all your neighbors about my HIV status, but I couldn't do it where I slept. And because I still felt like it was a weapon that could be used against me, that my neighbors could talk about me, that they could weaponize it. You know, the stigma was fears. And so at the end of the day, I don't think either one, not the mother or the daughter, noticed, like, they didn't care. It was just, they knew it was me. They gave me my package, bim, boom, bam, it was over, right? It was over. But I feel like it was a real aha moment because it really gave me an opportunity to challenge that. And, like, for me, like, that was really sort of that was just the closet door blasting open. And so that year, my pictures weren't very prominent. And I feel like that was a higher power or a universe moment because the next year I was ready. Like, I felt like my first year I got my toe, I dipped my toe in the pool with the campaign, but I don't really feel like I worked it to my full potential. And then when Sheldon asked me if I was interested in coming back for the following year, I actually advocated for myself, and I was like, listen, Sheldon, I know I fell short. I know that conversation with the box game was not a good look, but I'm in a very different space, you know, like working with the spokesmodels and, like, you know, doing events and seeing the power of that campaign. Like, if you give me one more chance, like, I will bring my A game this year. And I really did. And, you know, I was way more comfortable at the shoot. I was way more comfortable at events. That was the year that the pandemic happened. So the ads were supposed to run for a month, but they actually ran for like a year and change.
Yeah.
So people really got to see that, and, like, you know, and the feedback that I got, there was no negative feedback. Like, there was some comedian on Instagram that posted his picture because they told him that we looked like each other, and so. I'll make this quick, but the second aha moment was reading those comments, right? And because he was a comedian and, like, people would really make, like, the jokes about HIV and, like, oh, you got the AIDS, all that, you know, like, all this crazy stuff that and I don't remember per se, but I read every last comment. And, like, I remember I was so distraught that night. And I went to bed feeling like that weapon had been used against me again. And I woke up the next day and I thought to myself, Rob, like, so you can either scurry away in shame or you can step into your power and use this as a teaching moment. And so I went back to the picture, I went back to the profile, and I crafted a very loving, educational, and compassionate message. And I gave props to the dude, and I was like, you know, and I said, like, this is a blessing that you have, like, your platform and your audience, because there was, like, thousands of messages, right? So the picture went viral through his account, and it really, you know, it gave me an opportunity to respond in an educational way. and take my power back and not like, slink away back into my shame and self-pity and whatever else. So yeah, those are the two aha moments, I think, of the campaign.
So ideally, well, first and foremost, I wanted to say to Nico, it's all right if you don't have that family support. My mother loves all of us.
Yes, I
So
do.
she your mother too.
Yes, I do.
So that's right. So, and besides that, we all go through a lot on the campaign. Ideally, we step in the forefront. We share our honest truth. We share all of us so that others out there watching our videos sees that it's possible. It's possible to be HIV positive for X amount of years because we all have different years that we've been positive, okay? It's possible to be HIV positive, take your medicine, live and thrive an amazing life, okay? Looking this amazing. Look at all of us. You see us? We look fabulous. You would never know walking down the street that we have HIV, I mean, maybe you would if you looked like a campaign.
That part.
But
sometimes I find that like sometimes you're in situations where people are flirting with you, or maybe it's a little more than flirting, and they don't know, they haven't seen your ad, and you tell people, and they come together, they gag. What? Nah. What? Nah. Why would I lie about that? Why would I even joke about that? Yes, that's what it is. And then, people then they get caught up in their own things, you know what I'm saying? And if nothing else, sometimes this is the other thing that I've learned about rejection, right? When they reject you, when they reject us for our status, it's less about us and more about them. What have you been doing? Who have you been with that didn't tell you their status? And how were you with them? Because you just assumed that they were negative. So the reality that I represent when I step into my power is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just make assumptions like that. You can't just look
so before I have each of my, siblings close it out, I want to know, does anybody in the audience have any questions? No? Okay, I'm going to come to you right now, Nikki. I'm going to let the audience know, just so y'all know, our online viewers can see y'all. I'm just saying. So they can see you not asking questions. Ross, give me 1 second. I'm making this gracious little walk. I got exercise a little bit, even though I'm doing my very best to pack on these pounds and stuff because, anybody that knows me knows that I want to get my body done. But it's okay, it's a work in progress. Like the play that I was in at this theater. Anywho, Nikki, you have a question?
First of all, I'm just like over here, just listening to all your stories and just imagining your journey, like really just each one of you. And it's just, you're beyond inspirational and beyond courageous. And I didn't expect that I would be moved in this way. But the question that I have for Nico is like, with your church experience, like beyond your actual family, did anybody from your church like support you or embrace you, or what was their actual response in your church family? And then my other question was, what was the comedian's name that did that?
So is my church now, you mean, or?
Your church back then.
Oh, they didn't know. I ain't tell nobody. Yeah, they didn't know. Now they do, because I actually sent the box down south. Someone was asking me about like one of the she used to like babysit me when I was little, me and my brother. And actually I don't even know how she found out. Oh, her sister tagged her. She was like, "Oh, did you see this about Nico?" And her response was like, "Wow." And at first I took it kind of personal. I'm like, okay, what does wow mean? Does wow mean, oh wow, like that's beautiful, she's doing it? Or like, oh wow. So I wasn't sure what the wow meant, but the fact that she asked me for a box, she was like, yeah. When she saw the blue post, she was like, yeah, definitely send me one. I said, well, do you want more than one? She said, yeah. So I put one for her sister, and I did that all the year for the campaign. And then I signed all of them. She said, also put one in for the school. Because she actually teaches at, not teaches, but she's like one of the assistant principals at through the schools or whatever down here. She was like, send it. So next thing is going to be like, do you want to come speak? Because I'm gonna tap into that. Like, yo, I'll come speak, even though like we're in real estate, and I know that they don't pay for it, but like if I'm able to go down south and give them a presentation, yeah, I'm gonna do that because the information isn't in South Carolina like it is here. But yeah, my church didn't know because I hated it. I didn't tell anybody, so they didn't know at the time.
Oh, the comedian. I don't remember his name exactly because I don't follow him, but he is sort of viral on TikTok and Instagram, and he's Dominican and he does some stuff in like English and Spanish, and he features his mother a lot. Like there's like a lot of arguments with his mother. Yeah, so he has a really big following. He must be in his late 20s, early 30s, Dominican, and he does that tongue in cheek, like very slapstick, like very Dominican Latino, Latinx comedy. So yeah, so it's like his mother chasing him to clean the house and they're like dumb stuff like that. But yeah, so he's a good guy. From what I see, he's got a pretty good following. Yeah.
Any last comments to make to our audience that you want to share?
The world is on fire. The world is on fire, and so I guess what I would say is, we are responsible, regardless of what's happening around us, to protect our mental, emotional, and spiritual peace, right? To find the things that ground us. Like let's put down the phones from time to time, all the virtual reality, get right with your higher power, whatever that may be, whatever you believe in, and lead with love and compassion, be the change that you want to see in this world that is burning, right? And just, protect your energy and your peace. And there are people that we love that are toxic, and that can kick up the toxic stuff in us as well, because we're not exempt to that. I would say, just like in protecting your serenity and your peace, don't sacrifice your peace and your serenity to meet somebody in their chaos. Like if they need something from you gotta come out of that chaos and meet me in a common ground, because my energy, my peace is there ain't no dollar sign, there ain't no price on that.
People behind wrong with that. It's all about like with so much going on and everybody caught up in like what's wrong, what's right, how you supposed to do it, how you supposed to live your life. It's about you living your life for you. For you. Because you trans, like people against that, like instead of having a conversation about it, I mean, it's just so much about, you HIV positive, it's so much. So it's about you having that peace and being peaceful with yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's about you, baby. So, yeah. That's what I said, I can't go out wrong.
How about yourself, Tyrone? Do you have any closing remarks for our audience?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say that we're going through challenging times right now, and what works for me is education. Education is the key because knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to say, like, let's all be a little kinder to each other. I know it's easier said than done because not only everybody, like, at this day and age, everybody's going through. It will be a time where they'll be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm here. I'm doing well. But these days, everybody's going through something, and you never know what somebody else is going through. I mean, the violence, the COVID, the monkeypox, the polio. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much going on right now. We just love each other and try to care for each other and just make a better way. You know what I'm saying? Because aside from all of us, we have our kids that's looking at us and trying to learn the way. So if we can't do it for ourselves, let's do it for the kids. Thank you, everyone.
So I want to shout out again Sheldon D'Souza. He is our account manager. He is our agent. He's the one that handpicks us every single year to come back. And you have to be actually doing something to be part of the campaign. You can't say, I just want to look pretty on a poster. He'll be like, that's fine. I'll give you a list of photographers and how much they charge, but you're not going to do that on my dime. What we do is we connect individuals to access to care, making sure we build community, making sure we break stigma. And look at that, and stigma, okay? And you guys can do that too. Make sure you get tested. Make sure you know your status. If you're HIV positive, you can contact the campaign. You can contact any one of us, and we will link you to care. If you are HIV negative, we can also link you into care so that you can stay HIV negative using PrEP. So please, everybody give a round of applause for my panelists from the HIV Stop With Me campaign. Thank you so much, guys. You are awesome. I mean, we do this 365 days a year, and the pandemic has literally taken us into a new direction because most of our work is to actually engage with individuals at events and on one-on-one contact, and COVID really put us through a whirlwind where we couldn't contact with people. So if anybody read up on Sofa Chat, that's actually how Sofa Chat started. We didn't have a way to connect to the public, so we decided to connect on Zoom and then, connect with the world, and Sofa Chat took its own direction after that. But thank you guys. We're gonna have a brief commercial. We're gonna have another video. This one is gonna be from Amita Care, okay? While I go freshen up in the back and get ready for our next panelist.
Hello, my name is Leandra and I've been living with HIV since 2018. Medication keeps my HIV under control.
I'm Leilani, and I've been HIV positive since 2006. I'm undetectable and untransmittable.
I'm Rick, and I've been living with HIV since 2003. I'm managing my physical, mental, and sexual health.
I'm Slade, HIV.
Sorry, y'all had to freshen up real quick.
I said I had to freshen up. I clap. Y'all clap. Not for the freshening up, but that I'm back out. Whew. All right. We're going to try not to drop this one this time. I'm going to try to drink it all so the rug don't drink it for me. So, without further ado, I have to bring out my next guest, right? Because the last panel is the serious one. That's the juicy one. That's where we're going to pull out all the stops, right? But before we pull out all those stops, definitely have to interview this person, right? So when my husband and I started talking about season 2 of Sofa Chat and building this production bigger than what it was for season 1, we decided that we wanted to sit down together, go over people that we were going to interview and everything like that. But we wanted to make it a little bigger, and I wanted to kind of like alleviate a lot of the work that I was doing, because I was doing a little bit of everything from hair, makeup, set design, you name it, I did it. And if I didn't do it, my husband was helping me. And I hit up one of my siblings and I said, listen, I need a makeup artist. And I need somebody to come on board. And this sibling said, when, where, and how? I got you. We're going to do this. For the entire season of 2 of Sofa Chat, they've been on and off with us only because They are booked and busy. They just brands it out. Like I thought I was gonna have a sign, seal, deliver makeup artist every Sunday, but it's okay because family supports family. You understand? And we make sure we each support each other. So no matter what he was doing or what they were doing, I made sure I supported. My husband and I went out, we supported. If we couldn't make it because we had COVID, we sent tips. But we made sure we showed the love to our sibling, right? Who is not only our sibling, an advocate for what they do, a community person, because they kick off a barbecue every single year for the community and not ask for one dime back, okay? They raise all the money for this event. In addition to that, they are the host at Identity Bar in the Bronx. They are the mistress with the mostest, okay? That's right, give it up, give it up. I'm also proud of them because they, in addition to being booked all over, we sat on the sofa in our house one day, and my husband and I live, and they were like, I need like an intro song to my night. And it went from that to, they were in the studio recording a single, and then recording a music video, and releasing it. And I'm so proud to call them my sibling. I'm so proud of all the work that they've done. So please, without further ado, put your hands together for my guest this evening, none other than Miss Kelly Kaboom! Come on. I told you she was trying to comfort me, getting ready in the back. Look at this. We wear a sibling. Look at this. Now, can you tell we're siblings? Good now. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. I just wanted to chat real quick, but before we start these questions and stuff like that, let our viewers know a little bit about Kelly.
Hey everybody, how you feeling? So a little bit about Kelly. So for those that don't know, I am the Whitney Houston impersonator of New York City. Besides this new adventure that I'm going on, which is a dream come true that I didn't think I'll be able to do, I am a celebrity makeup artist. I put my feet in everything. You know, as Jamaicans, we just have to have our feet in everything, okay? Really do. Really do. So, very much if one thing don't work, all right, I'm going to the next. And then the next one, if that don't work, okay? I'm just a whole lot of fun. Besides being the host at Identity, which I made 1 year like 2 weeks ago, I made 1 year at Identity. It's hard, you know, trying to keep a gig in the gay community. Let me correct myself, the alphabet community. I like to say we like to be greedy because we want the whole thing. It was hard to keep it because there were times I wanted to give up. I was just like, hey, it would be like probably like 5 people in there, and then I was like, I'm not putting all this on for 5 people. No. But then as I was being patient, I wound up seeing more people coming in. And then the love and support that came in, I got blown away, and then just like, I'm here now.
So I've had the opportunity to see you flourish, you know, and grow ever since we became siblings. I literally, we would be at the same situations and rummaging through similar closets and bins and stuff like that. And we no longer rummage through the closets and the bins. We make the closets and the bins. How has it been working within the nightlife industry as an impersonator, a female impersonator?
I'll say this. It took me some time to get to where I'm at now. I'm not going to toot my own horn, even though I should, but I'm not going to do that. But it took some time to get to where I'm at. You know, working in Manhattan, to try to get into that nightlife, to try to get your own gig, or even just to get on a stage, it is hard. If you don't know a girl, you're not getting on that stage. So the best thing they'll tell you to do is go do a competition. I don't want to do a competition. I want to get on the stage. So it took me some time to, to learn my self-worth. Besides learning my self-worth, I had to, dip and dabble in more stuff to perfect my craft. I went to cosmetology school, so that's what made me a celebrity makeup artist. I wanted to make sure that if this is the craft that I'm going to do, that I'm going to be fully committed to it. So by me just doing competitions, going here, showing support to people, it was something that I had to fix in my head. I was just like, I'm gonna support the girls. Whether they support me or not, I'm gonna support the girls because I want y'all to see that I'm a supporter and that I wanna be where you at. Whether you like it or not, this is what I wanna do. And that's how it's supposed to be. With these girls that have the stages, you would think they want to share their stage. Like, because you got somebody that's coming up looking after you, looking up to you, basically. And y'all don't wanna share the stage. It's just like, wow. Don't worry, girl, I'm not trying to take your spot. I'm gonna go somewhere else. But I look up to you, like, at least give me some pointers or something. But these girls now these days, they don't want to give the pointers and they don't want to share the spotlight. So for me to get identity, which it really came out of nowhere because there was no Kelly. There really wasn't. I was putting Kelly in a bag and shipping her to the next storage bin, and that was that. I really was. I was like, whoever wants her, you can have her. But she does. I still have her dress in my closet too. But I was just like, you know what? That's it. This is not me. I can't do it. Especially being a drag entertainer, not everybody accepts it. So I was just like, I'm done. But then I went to Identity Bar that opened up in the Bronx, and the owner was just like, oh my God, I know he's gonna kill me for what I'm about to do. He'd be like, I love you, kitty. In a way, because he's Irish, so the way he comes, like, he's really a sweetheart. He's a gay owner too. He's really a sweetheart, and he's like, I was just going there as myself to basically just be a party promoter. I was like, just give me this, just get your club packed out, and I'll be fine. He was like, I'm not ready for that. I was like, okay, so what can we do so that way, for me to start working with you? He was like, well, I have drag entertainers. I was like, I gave that like up. He's like, I didn't even know you do drag. I was like, yeah, I used to, but I gave it up. Let me see a video. All right. Showed him a video. He was like, oh, you have to come to a show. I'll give you Fridays. Fridays is even packed and busy. I was like, what? You're gonna give me a Friday? Friday's like the best night for most queens that are out here. They want a Friday. And I was like, okay. All right, fine, why not? He told me how much he was gonna give me. I was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? A night just to sit here and get this glamorous, why not? So I sat there and did it, and ever since I kept Friday nights. And I'm still here now.
So if y'all haven't gone out to Identity, make sure y'all go out and step out to Identity on a Friday night. You might catch your girl hitting the stage every now and then. I'm just saying, that's one of our tricks up my hat. I'm just saying, a little something. We'll talk about that after in the next segment. So how has it been actually breaking into the music industry? Because that's also another industry that's also difficult to break into. How has it been, not just as an artist, but as a female entertainer going into that industry? How has it been for you?
So far, it's been a dream. Like, I'm really still overwhelmed about the outcome of how everything that's going on right now. For me to actually be performing on your show today, it's really a dream because now I got more bookings for me to perform my song. I get friends that tell me, oh my God, your song is amazing. And the downloads and the streams of it, I'm just really shocked and amazed because this has always been a dream, but it's just how do you go about it being a drag artist or a gay artist? How do you go about it when it's not accepted? Like, how do you do that? So just for now that the world is changing and the fact is that I'm who I am and that everybody's accepting it and downloading my song, I'm just like, wow, I gotta keep going. I can't stop. I'm gonna keep going, and I have another song coming out too. Okay, I just gotta keep going. So that's like, so far it's been a dream that come true, and I'm just gonna ride it. I'm just gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. Hopefully they don't, but that's.
At least until you get a walker to walk. You know what I'm saying? Because after the wheels, after your legs get a little older, I like, I don't know about you, but I can get me a little scooter. Bitch ain't walking after a while. I'm gonna walk until these legs can't walk no more, and then I'm gonna put on these heels and sit on my scooter and just. I'm gonna be like my mother when we go food shopping and stuff like that at Walmart. Where's my car? Excuse me, I don't got my license. She already got her scooter. You see, she already ahead of me. Look at that. And I'm the oldest sibling. I think I'm gonna have to borrow her scooter when I need it. I have to get around town. Hey. We're gonna leave that one. So, well, I didn't know she had another song that's about to come out, but I hope she'll debut it on Selfish Ass season 3 when we open. I'm just saying. No, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time. We'll work on that. We work on a lot of different things. So we have we're ending of this segment, right? But before we end this segment, I want to ask Kelly if she has anything else that she would like to share with our audience.
I'm contestant number 4, and no. No, but I'm like, I appreciate everything, and let's just keep riding the wheels. Just keep riding with me. I didn't know I'm such a comedian, and just so bubbly. But just keep riding with me.
So, producer, do we have another commercial? If not, would you like to entertain our audience while I go do a costume change? I'm saying either we have somebody else that we could, come up in here. I have to bring somebody else up in here if you don't want to sit on this sofa. All right then. So I'll be right back because I'm gonna do a nice little costume change for our next panel. But please give a hand to my husband, my co-producer, Sebastian.
All right, y'all. So this part is unscripted, so I can say almost pretty much anything. But so far, how you been enjoying the show? Guys, give it up for the HIV Starts With Me team. It's not hard sharing your story. It's not an easy thing. It's been an amazing journey just watching it from the sidelines, because that's what I do. I watch from the sidelines. Being a trans experience, the masculine spectrum, a lot of times when you hear trans, a lot of people think of the women, they don't see the men. So this is what the man looks like, the trans man looks like. And I've been riding on the sidelines of the HIV Starts With Me because, this is Lay's journey. This is one of her journeys. She has so many, but this is one of her strong paths. And so I'm so proud of her on this journey. And even though I can't be on the HIV Starts With Me, I do sit from the sidelines and I cheer on as her greatest fan. And I take my 1 pill a day to stay negative. Even though she takes her pills and she remains undetectable, and so she takes her medicine regularly. But for me to take my own medicine is me taking my own life under my control. So so that I know that I'm definitely being safe.
What's the medicine you take?
I take PrEP. I take Truvada. As a trans man, no lie, Truvada is the only thing right now that works for us. They're working on other things. There's a lot of different medicines coming out, but so far yet, there hasn't been anything that has really been different for the trans men yet. We're still taking Truvada. I'm waiting. So, does anybody have any questions? How you're feeling about tonight? Did y'all get some cocktails? What about the paparazzi jury? Did y'all take a look at that? Well, tonight we'll be taking a good look at it because she's got some good stuff. Go ahead.
Tell us about how you started the NYT, the Trans Bodybuilding Organization.
Okay, we're going to talk about the NYTDF. With that being said, we know we have a competition coming up in August, but
What does that mean?
the New York Transgender Bodybuilding Federation is the first trans-Pacific pro sport in the world. I decided to do the transgender bodybuilding, I guess like a few years after my transition, and I realized that I was working out a lot more and watching my body become closer to what my mind felt, and thinking about what saved me going through school, because I knew at a very young age about how I was feeling about my body. I knew my mind didn't match my body, and I was, trying to explain that to my parents, and it just didn't line up because my parents are old school, and they would just, it was something that they didn't hear of, and they thought I would tell me to stop saying stuff like that, Every now and then I get a good, how you say, good old spanking that'll make me be quiet about it, but the NYTVF came up in 2018. I went down into Atlanta 2016, and I competed in what we call an amateur competition. They had put together an amateur competition down there, and there was a lot of other trans males there, and it was an amazing feeling to feel safe and be able to compete. The only thing that was missing was the pro element. That's what I felt. The pro element was missing, because we put ourselves out there on stage, and as a sport, bodybuilding is a pro sport for the cisgender. It takes you a lot of places. There's a lot of accolades that go along with it. And so being trans and going into bodybuilding and put myself on stage, that's not just me being a bodybuilder, but that's also me being visible. And once you're visible, what a lot of people don't understand is you cannot go back invisible. So the moment you go into the light, that's it. There's no going back into the closet because somebody seen you and that's it. And then never let you go back in. So once you're out and you're exposed, you have to be able to be prepared for that lane. And a lot of times you're not prepared for that lane. You don't know how people are going to treat you. You don't know if everybody's going to treat you fairly or if they're going to treat you disrespectfully. If they're going to show you love or if they're going to hate you. You have people that are smiling in your face and do other things behind your back. This is the real of when you're living the way we live. This is our life. It doesn't change. And you get that as a regular human being every day. So being trans on top of it, and trans of color, you can add a couple of more elements, you can understand what we're going through. Doesn't she look beautiful? Now, she looks amazing, and now I get to go to the dash to the back and do the change too. I'm sweating it out. Oh, she left her beverage in the back. Can somebody bring her beverage? She's getting parched.
A little parched.
All right, and we're gonna go back to the regular tune stations. And thank you for being a beautiful audience and let me stand here.
Thank you, baby. So thank you guys, right? Y'all must be wondering why I got all this stuff on, right? So our last panel this evening is going to be on none other than pageantry, the diversity within the pageantry circuit, okay? I've gotten the opportunity to compete in several different pageants, okay? I am a two-time state title holder in the New York pageantry circuit. I've competed in nationals alongside with my husband because, of course, we are complementing couples, so some of our titles are Mr. and Mrs. titles. And then some of our titles are single. And we've taken the last couple of years off to kind of regroup and do what we gotta do. But next year, we are hitting the pageantry circuit by storm. Yeah. And we're not leaving no survivors. We're taking everybody down. So y'all can just mail us the titles and stuff. We'll just represent y'all real good. That's how we do. But anywho, I'm gonna open up this coat a little bit because I'm hot. But I think it looks better while I'm sitting on it, right? Because I gotta take pictures. So I gotta give a shout out. My coat was made by none other than Jim Wilson. So please definitely go online and follow him on Facebook. My jewels are provided by none other than Looks Custom Jewelry. You can catch their auction every Thursday. I also have some other jewelry that I'm gonna show y'all later if I got a chance. But if you haven't gotten the opportunity, studio audience, when we finish our live broadcast, y'all gotta check out my girl Delphine right here. She got a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. Y'all can buy whatever I leave on the table. I'm gonna take most of it anyway. Anywho, so without further ado, I would love to bring up the next panelist that I have for this segment. So first and foremost, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I'm gonna save my lady for last, because she's just on fire. So I'm gonna start out with my brother, none other than the current reigning Mr. Renaissance Neo Hall Richards. Then I gotta bring up my uncle. He is the current reigning Mr. Gay New Jersey Everlasting. So I'm gonna have you come sit over here to touch my wine glass. We're gonna move her so we don't spill her again. No, I'm saying I'm clumsy. That's what I'm saying, I'm clumsy. Now, thank you. So my uncle right here has a counterpart, right? But unfortunately, my sister couldn't make it to the broadcast because she just had surgery. But I want to give a shout out to my awesome sister, Aurora Van Wells, who is the current reigning Miss Gay New Jersey. She is also the current reigning Miss Gay Asbury Park. So please definitely give her a shout out. Look her up. If you need some bookings, check them both out. Check us all out. We all book. We all do the damn thing. Now, last but certainly not least, is my sister. She is multi-talented. She currently runs the New York chapter for the Miss Full Figure New York Pageantry System. Please give it up for my sister, Suella. Say it twice. Come on, sis. She is the former Miss Full Figure New York. She is the director. I gotta get it right. You see? She's the director. I can't just tell she's running. No, she's directing New York. Right, sis? Letting them know. She has a current reigning court. Unfortunately, they had to go and make appearances today, but that's all right. We love all of them. So the full Miss Full Figure New York system, we love y'all. We hope y'all come on for season 3 because we got big things planned for y'all. So I want to thank y'all first and foremost for joining the panel. I appreciate y'all because y'all traveled from far and wide and, to buses and trains and boats and all that good stuff and traveled from out of town. So thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all. So without further ado, I think I'm going to ask my first series of questions, right? Because we at our less than 30-minute mark for the end of our show. Oh my goodness. I'm trying not to cry, y'all, just so y'all know. It's a little emotional. So I think I'm going to start with my sister. I want to first go back to how was it competing for Miss Full Figure?
Competing for Miss Full Figure was helping my self-esteem. I started out at size 320. Yes, honey. And so I didn't even know that they had anything that advocate for body positivity or plus size. And someone came up to me and said, "You have a beautiful face, you need to do this." I didn't know nothing about no shoes, no jewels, or no hair, honey. So I had to get trained, and I tried out the first time. I didn't win, but it gave me the opportunity or an exposure of something that I thought that would be something excellent for me to try. I tried again. I didn't win. I was gonna give it all up. And then there's one lady, she says, "No, baby, this is your calling. God wants you to be here." In 2012, I won Miss Full Figure USA 2012 and became international model.
Look at that. You see, family, we be doing big things. We be doing big things. So I'm gonna ask my uncle. Because you see, my uncle's journey has been a journey. And I'm really excited to hear what he has to share with you guys. So, how has it been competing for Mr. Gay New Jersey?
I'll give the same answer I did when I was at Gay New Jersey. Being my authentic self, it took 12 years. I went in my first year, I was super green. I'll let you know what green means. I was fresh, just fresh off the boat, trying to figure out what pageantry was. And I just kept on sticking at it. There was a time that I did give up, and here it is now. I'm still basking in just the glory of it, because I didn't do this by myself. I had a team. And we always talk about having a team doing things. And my queen's not here, but she would say the same thing, you know, it's a dream and I'm just waiting for just to wake up, and I don't think I'm gonna wake up from it.
So, hey bro. So we've had these conversations, me and my brother at times, right? Before he started competing, when he decided to get back into the circuit, he was like, yo sis, we gotta talk. We had a little conversation, and then he hit the ground running. And it was just like competition after competition after competition. And I'm so honored to be your sister, first and foremost. I'm so honored to be related to all of y'all. This is awesome. How has it been getting back into the pageantry system?
Again, Neil Hart Richards. It's actually been fun. It's a little stressful as competition in general is, but it's been fun because it's given me that outlet to express the other sides of me that I wouldn't normally express or most people wouldn't see. And I've had a lot of people welcome me. I've had some people shade me, but at the end of the day, check my resume and the records, I'm still a winner.
Boom. So, holding a title within the pageantry sector, we all have different platforms that we stand on and that we push. Especially each pageantry system has their own platforms, but ideally something they all believe in and their missions and their visions, right? But ideally, all of us have similar missions and visions. Can you share with the audience what is the mission and the vision for Mr. Renaissance in that system?
Mr. Renaissance is me. We have an extreme court. There's Mr. and Miss Renaissance. Mr. and Miss Renaissance opulence for those competing over the weight class of 200. We have our Miss Renaissance Femme, Mr. Renaissance MI. We have Renaissance MI and Femme Prince and Princess. And we're starting in November, Mr. Renaissance Rising Star. We don't consider it newcomer because when people say newcomer, they expect you to be young and fresh and green. Rising Star means it's someone who's stepping into a new arena and expressing their talents no matter the age. If you're new and you believe in yourself, come make a point to be Renaissance. Because our motto for Renaissance is be real, be royal, be regal, be Renaissance. And if you want to, please reach out to me, any member from the Renaissance Court. Stephen Wall is the promoter now for our New York Renaissance, our Renaissance Rising Stars. And Renaissance has a 501(c) called Renaissance Cares, where we actually do reach out to the community. We're involved in the community. We help people find access to different resources that they may or may not have. We have spokespeople who go out and actually talk to people about their healthcare, their lives, pageantry. So it's more than just one lane. So if you want to be a part of something that gives you direction and purpose, come check out Renaissance.
Sister, what is the Miss Full Figure Pageantry System's mission and vision?
Well, for Miss Full Figure New York, I'm creating emphasis with curves with an empire state of mind. We have Miss Full Figure USA New York, Miss Full Figure USA New York Plus, and Miss Exquisite ages 40 and up. We have everything to except for size and body positivity, because Miss Teresa, who's the CEO, gotta give her a shout out. Size has no barrier on beauty.
And what is the mission and the vision of Mr. and Mrs. Gay, New Jersey?
Punch with their rings.
Gay New Jersey is a nonprofit organization for HIV and AIDS. We do go out and reach out to communities and help people with HIV and AIDS with medication, rent, resources, and we do help out as much as we can. It's just not about wearing the title. It's not about, oh, I'm Mr. Gay New Jersey. No, it's not about that. It's about going out and helping people, just like the segment that you had earlier, about each one teach one. We had that where we was in reverse, where you were coming out in the was each one teach one. Now we're each one teach one, getting people vaccinated, getting people to the right programs, getting people to the right organizations so we can help those who need the help.
So we sitting on this couch, right? But I have to acknowledge my brother too, because my brother is also a former Mr. Gay New Jersey, Mr. Neil Hall Richards. So that's awesome. You see a full panel of pageantry. OMG, right? But the panel's not closed, y'all, because I'm missing somebody on my couch, on my stage. So remember I told you my husband and I compete in complimentary and pageantry systems, right? So I am the former princess to the New York Princess Pageant. I am also the former Miss Black Trans 2017, 2018, and I reign alongside with my husband, Mr. Black Trans 2017, 2018. So please join me on stage, ladies. So I wanted to bring my husband on because I wanted our viewers all to see the diversity within the pageantry circuit. You understand? All shapes, all colors, all sizes, all gender identities, all sexual orientations, all fighting for the right to educate those, to link them into care, to educate on body positivity. Listen, we all look good. Let's stop hating on each other, because guess what? There's somebody out there that's gonna love you for who you are. So don't hate on everybody else because they don't love you. It's all right. They leave the opportunity for somebody else to open that door and love on you even more than you could ever love on them. Okay? So I want to pass this mic to my former king, but he's always my king. Oh, my husband. So, babe, please let the viewers know what it was like for you to compete for Mr. Black Trans.
Hello, everybody. It's me again. Wow. What it was like to compete, you know, being in trans masculine, being able to have any open doors, to be able to be visible and be yourself is amazing. And Black trans advocacy is something that is very, how do you say, prestigious. They're out of Texas. And just not even do they have the pageant, but they also have every year, besides the last 2 years with the COVID, they have what they have is a meeting. And it's like trans people from all over the world that come in of color. It almost feels like you're standing on holy ground when you're standing there looking at so many people that look like you, that is striving, having businesses, doing positive things in the world, where they keep always, when you're always looking at the news, all they show you is negative things, showing us being killed and dragged in the streets. So to be somewhere where it's positive and everybody's showing love and everybody's doing great things, they have great foundations and looking to partner with each other to build those things even bigger is amazing. So yeah.
So we almost, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So my husband and I compete in different pageantry circuits. We took us some time off because we wanted to focus on our businesses. We wanted to focus on the NYTVF. We wanted to focus on Sofa Chat and our production company, Double L Productions. By the way, selfish plug, if you need somebody to produce your shows, your events, or your outings, please definitely contact Double L Productions. We're always on point. We got you if you got us. So I want to take the time to give you guys each the opportunity to share any last remarks you would with our audience.
Short, simple, and sweet. Be yourself, love yourself, be your authentic self.
Theme song. Give it up for Mr. Gay New Jersey! So, sis, do you have any closing remarks for our audience members, whether we in the studio or virtual?
Well, thank you all for coming. I am the one and only Suella. Suella is so nice, you gotta say it twice. And if you know any plus size models that I'm here to inspire, encourage, and be there for them for Miss Full Figure USA New York 2023, which will be held in May.
The best advice I could give to the studio audience and those who are watching, Never let anyone else's perception be your reality. Your reality needs to be based on what you see, what you feel, what you love, even if you don't understand it. Grow. Let that be your building block to be the best you can be, because at the end of the day, no one's going to love you better than you can love yourself, and you can't love yourself until you know yourself. So never let someone else's perception of you be who you are. Be who you are and let them see what they need to know.
Amazing, right? So what I got to say is treat people how you want to be treated. And there's something that I read once, and I think I seen it on Facebook. They said, be that person that you wanted when you was a kid. Because that's the most like authentic, real thing that you want when you were a child. You don't know anything, but you want to be safe. So be that person that you wanted when you was a child. Also, selfish plug. I hope to see everybody August 20th. If y'all don't know what that is the week of Black Pride, but it's also the NYTBF Pro competition. Right? We'll be opening up the Times Center. It's a free event for all spectators, and immediately after the competition, if you've never been to a pageant, you might want to show up. There is going to be a pageant there.
Yeah, you know, y'all want to show up for the pageant and to see what I'm going to wear, right? Because, you know, my gown is going to be everything. Oh, and by the way, all fashions this evening were designed by me, just Lay. I'll play no games other than this coat. I can't take credit for the coat, even though I really do, but Jim did an amazing job, so I got to give him credit for that. I want to thank you guys all for being a part of Sofa Chat, the final episode for this season. I greatly appreciate all of you for traveling and enduring this heat and all that good stuff. Don't leave, because we're gonna walk off the stage together in a few minutes. But I want to thank everybody that has chimed in our comments. Everybody that came out and endured this heat with us and is in the studio. I'm gonna give a little quick shout out. So my mom is always in the building. She's front and row. Give it up for my mom. Woo! Give it up for right behind her. You got my auntie Lilia. She is the guru. She knows everything and everything. When I got a question, I'm always calling my aunt Lilia. If you need some jewelry, hit me up. If y'all can't hit her up, but hit up my jeweler right here, Delphine. We also want to say thank you. See, one of our audience members was also a guest on Sofa Chat, so please give the hand up for Dr. Thomas. Now, you know, we family. We don't call each other siblings. We don't call each other sister, because there's no division in family. You are just family. You love on each other regardless. Whether you're up, you're down, you love on each other. But you also acknowledge those who have helped you along the way. So I want to give an awesome shout out to coming to support Sofa Chat, because she's going to be on the sofa next season. Please give your hands up for Miss Kim Watson. We also want to shout out the HIV Stops With Me spokesmodels. Some of them had to leave early, but we still got Miko in the building. We gotta give a shout out definitely to our bartender, our hype person, our, you know, comedian, our resident sibling, none other than the one and only Nikki Sunshine. We gotta give it up to our house manager. She made sure when she walked in the building that she said, Leilani, what do you need? I said, I ain't got no sound. Please help me. She said, I got you. I'm gonna text. We're gonna get this done. Please give it up for Epiphany. Yay, we also gotta give it up for our security, keeping us safe all evening. Raven. All right, so we got 10 minutes left of this show, right? We're about to close out in a minute, but before we close out, I'm gonna help my husband make sure that we have this audio for our entertainer. You need help, or you got it, babe? Okay, so we're gonna do it together, right? As a matter of fact, no, I'm gonna pass over the mic and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna let my husband take over real quick, but before. I gotta give a shout out to my sister Safari. everybody, because we've had a flow of people that have come in and supported us. Some people had to leave early, so we greatly appreciate all the love, especially online, all of our online viewers. Thank you. We got our requests that definitely chimed in. Thank you. We greatly appreciate y'all. Now, before I go set up this music, I'm gonna pass my husband the mic, and then I'm gonna do my closing before I invite Kelly up. So please give a round of applause for my last panel, my pageantry panel, my uncle, Everlasting, the current Mr. Gay, New Jersey. Please give it up for my brother, Mr. Neo Hall Bridges, the current reigning Mr. Renaissance. And of course, my sister Suella, so nice, you gotta say it twice. The director of Miss Full Figure New York. Thank you guys. See, they all fine. You see that? Oh, they all fine. Love it. So I'm gonna pass over the mic to my husband, let him chop it up with y'all for a few seconds while I set this audio up. We need to get some insight. Let them know about your show that's coming up, or let them know about any new things that you got. Not even competition.
Well, as you see, we got this talk show going, and it's doing very well. How would you say it did better than we thought that it was going to do this year. It actually like took off in its own whirlwind, and it is amazing. We had some great guests, some great interviews. We didn't realize that it was going to take off so well. We knew it was going to do a good job because we put our best foot forward with everything we do. We go hard on everything we do, but we didn't realize that it was going to really take off so nicely. And so we winded up going a little bit more extended than we were supposed to. We were only going to roll out for about 4. We went 6 months. And so that's like, 8 extra weekends that we was able to add on, which is a lot of shows if you don't think about it. That's 8 extra shows that we had to get more content for, that we had to find guests for. And, the crazy part was a lot of our guests actually reached out to us and wanted to come on the show. We did a lot of work to pull some guests, but for the most part, a lot of people reached out and wanted to come on Sofa Chat. So that was like, how you say, beating the beast out at halfway without having to worry about if people were going to show up or not and stuff like that. There's a lot of work that goes into, wanting people to get them to come on and be live and open up about themselves, and so she's been actually excellent at doing that, actually getting people on that couch and opening them up. I've seen people open up in ways that they didn't know that they were going to open, and that's an amazing thing to do. Besides putting these questions together and stuff like that, you got to be well calculated, and everybody's going to answer those questions differently. So where are we at this point?
We are at an 8-minute mark.
Okay, so we are at an 8-minute mark. This is the end of season 2. We're going into season 3. If you would see us at home sometimes, you would think that we don't like each other because we be fighting over things that's really, really petty. But, when it comes to business, sometimes things is petty, they need to be taken care of. So we be fighting over little things, even lights. But, we've been able to make an amazing season. And so I can't wait till season 3. I can't wait to launch out our new secret show. Not a secret, but it's our next show. And, we are hoping amazing things comes out of that show also. We're just waiting.
So before he gets off the stage to go man his podium, like he's always behind making sure I look good and we on point and everything like that, please give a round of applause to my co-producer, the co-owner of Double L Productions, the owner and the CEO of the NYTBF, my husband, Sebastian Roy.
Thank you very much. And I didn't leave my shirt on purpose. This happened by mistake, but I'm happy with it.
But it still look good. Before we bring out our entertainer for the evening to debut her hit single, I want to say thank you to all of you. Everybody who has tuned in with us for the entire season 2. It's been awesome. We've had an amazing lineup of guests from spokesmodels from the HIV Stops With Me campaign, mental health providers, parents of children that have autism, the Bronx Borough President, the first female of color, Miss Vanessa L. Gibson was on the chat. And we'll have some more elected officials coming soon for the next season, just so y'all know. But anywho, like I tell you guys every Sunday, I need you to take out a camera, face it to yourself, grab a mirror, tell yourself you are beautiful, you are worthy, you are deserving, because you matter. We all matter. Because if you can't love yourself, who the hell is gonna love you, and how the hell you gonna love yourself? Alright? So thank you guys for tuning in for the entire season. Don't go nowhere, because we have our celebrity guests coming to entertain y'all. So please give me a moment. We will have a quiet section just for a moment, you know, because we a little small show, and that's how we do. I gotta make sure my entertainer's ready, and she got the mic. So hold on, I'll be right back. And my coat wanna follow me. Thank you. Ms. Kaboom, do you need the mic? You ready? Okay. I'm DJ, husband, are you almost ready? I'm gonna come help you.
Who's got the last say, baby? I am the one that saved me. Who's got the last laugh, baby? Hey, I heard that you're still renting the same place. And hey, heard that you're still working the job you hate. Hey, still know you weren't made to last. Hey, when the last time I took you out with the trash. But everything is clear now. Everything I didn't see. Painting every red flag green. You said I was broken, but I picked up every piece. Now you got nothing on me. Nothing on me. So who's got the last time, baby? I know you got me crazy. I am the one that saved you. Who's got the last laugh, baby? Who got the last laugh, baby? I am the one that saved me. Who's got the last laugh, baby? Now and then, I see you around my door, and every time it gets easier than before. So go on and hate me. My heart's free to love me now. Free to love me now. But everything's clear now. Everything I didn't see. I painted every red flag green. You said I was broken, but I picked up every piece. Now you got nothing on me. Nothing on me. Who's got the last laugh, baby? I am the one that saved me. Who's got the last laugh, baby? I am the one that saved me. Who's got the last laugh? Who's got the last laugh? Who's got the last laugh? I got the last laugh, baby. Who's got the last laugh, baby? I am the one that saved me. Who got the last laugh, baby? I am the one that saved me.
All right, y'all. Give it up for my sister Kelly Kaboom. Thank you all. We really appreciate your support and everything for season 2. We hope to see you back. Can you close that out?
Anytime. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
We hope to see you back for season 3. We'll be taking a couple of months off. My husband and I got some other business ventures, and we going to Puerto Rico in October, baby. So we need some vacation. But thank you all. We appreciate your support. Please definitely follow us on social media. We'll be definitely streaming a lot more stuff. Besides for Sofa Chat, ads and information and linkage to care and everything like that. So please definitely continue to follow us. We look forward to seeing you for season 3. And we look forward to you tuning into our next project. So without further ado, thank you guys. This is the last episode for this season. Thank you guys. Good night, everyone. Be safe, mask up, get your monkeypox vaccine, and don't turn into a monkey. Love y'all.